Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a little while. Wow. Hello everybody in the YouTube chat now. It's not even Twitch anymore. Been a little while, but welcome back. It is Competitive Speed Series. It's the thing you all know and love, and it's back for more. This is season 4 now. I've been here, I think, since season 1 or 2 now, so wow, I've been here. I'm pretty much in the furniture, I think, but season 4 getting underway tonight. We've got a brilliant calendar as well for this season. My hair really is not working with me today, so do bear with me. I'm going to play with that probably throughout the entire stream, no problem at all. But we've got an amazing calendar and an amazing battle that we're going to have tonight. Plenty of teams here going for a good start to their season, but it's a bit of a rundown. Here's how we started. And we started with that qualifying session in Abu Dhabi. 10 teams have been selected from that. We have reserves just in case any drop out, but hopefully that does not happen because we've got a very good grid here so far. But round 1 is in Britain. We're heading to Silverstone, which is just a good opportunity for me to get all that British bias out nice and early. But we got a very good season beyond there. We've got Italy, Saudi Arabia, Azerbaijan, a mystery round. The Netherlands then follow. Then we have a break week. Belgium, Qatar, Las Vegas, another mystery round. Hungary, and then Japan to round off this season. And I mean, what a season it is going to be. Got so much action, so much racing. 2 mystery tracks as well, just to throw a little bit of spice in there and keep things interesting. But we're going to have an amazing round tonight. We've got a few new bits as well that we'll go over as of and when we get to them. One of them being a brand new graphic that I have painstakingly made and will be using tonight to hopefully make your time a little bit nicer and easier. Normally, I'd have someone alongside me. I don't. But, hey, that means I can have all the glory for the first round of the season. But this is going to be really good to see. We're going to love this first round of the season. So let me know in the chat who you think is going to be looking hot and who is not for this first round of the season. And just as we go over that, let me find the channel, because that's what is useful. Let's give you a rundown of those all-important teams, because there are 10 of them, and it's very important that we get these all nice and spot on. We are using the F1 World Cars tonight. Unfortunately, there's still concerns over equal performance. Is it equal? Is it not? Your guess is as good as mine, if I'm perfectly honest with you. But we will have CPI, EVE, TTM, EXT, TF10, ET8, IRT, OVR, G10, GT10, and ILD. I don't fully know all of those teams, but that's fine, because we'll learn it. And we'll learn it together. So let's have a little look at all of this. We've got a real mixed bag of things going on for tonight, and I've just found the standings and all of that good stuff. However, there is no full breakdown of what the teams actually stand for. So you know what? We're going to partially wing it tonight. But hey, what is that? You know, first round never goes smooth. It's never great. So hey, it's to be expected. But great to see so many people in the watching, and well, hope to see you all stick around because we have got plenty of action upcoming. It does look like pretty much everyone's into the lobby. I can't quite see for definite. I'm really having to squint the eyes there to just double check and see if everyone's in, but it does look like we're getting very, very, very close. But yeah, being told 1 minute and then everyone will be going, and it does seem like now we're getting people readying up, getting ready to go, and it's nearly time for qualifying for the first round of the season. Whew! Take a little bit of a breather, because this is really going to be a difficult first round. Not got anyone alongside me, you know, and we've really had to adapt, you know, but we're going to have a great start to this season, no doubt about that one. And, well, getting the ready up. And the signal is, all ready up. And, well, one of the CPI drivers has already got a quali ban before the season's even started. So that's not great. Being given a quali ban if they join late. So very, very clever. Gonna be interesting. But getting the signal that we're going to be readying up and getting into this session in a couple of moments' time. Let me know what teams you're expecting to see towards the top because, well, as I said, your guess is as good as mine. Hello, Sky Knight, in the YouTube chat. I nearly said Twitch chat. I'm going to do that a lot. It's been a long while since we've had that actually going on and just generally good to see. But going to be great to really see and keep an eye on everything that's going on. And, well, here we go. Qualifying is about to get underway now. So let's take you over to, well, the start of this new season. And what a season it is set out to be. 10 amazing teams and a lot of opportunity for something quite amazing. So let's get on top of all of the good stuff as we get down towards this qualifying session getting underway. It's really good to see everything really heating up as well. That's what we're gonna love to see. Hopefully in a couple of moments my telemetry is gonna pick up everything. If not, we're gonna have a couple of moments of panic. Hopefully not though. Let's see. Is my telemetry gonna play ball? Oh, it's raining. What a start. And my telemetry has worked. That's lovely. Now, what is the question? Is it going to dry up? Well, apparently, it's cloudy. I'm not sure where the clouds seem to be doing a little bit of a thing called raining. So, interesting. That's not the graphics fault, that is just the game. Very interesting. Not seen that before, but we have a car on track. And it's a little bit less confusing because I thought we were supposed to be running F1 World Cup. But Gatkowski is first to hit the track. Now, as a new rule for this season, damage and collisions are off during qualifying. That is to prevent that nasty that these drivers love to use and really abuse. Just turn that audio down a little bit. Don't want to deafen you too much right off the bat. But Gatkowski, they're on slick tyres, apparently. Which, yeah, I'm not sure which tyre is going to be better. We've noticed this scenario on the F1 game already. Sometimes one tyre, you know, either is perfectly fine on what would be for one kind of track. So, it's going to be interesting to see that. Just kind of get up, funnily enough, the graphics. It's going to give me a little bit more information about what's going on here in terms of the track. It's not like people in that. So, I'm going to find out. Not working. Find out. Apparently, it is cloudy. I'm not sure what I want to believe, if I'm honest, but apparently cloudy. So, interesting start to qualifying. Apparently it's cloudy, it's not, but nonetheless, we're going to get some laps on the board, and it's going to be interesting to see what these lap times look like and which compound of tyre leads the fastest. And into the pit lane comes Gatkowski off those soft compound tyres. So clearly he doesn't think the softs are the better way to go in this qualifying session. But there's going to be plenty of drivers who maybe do get in classes on this compound tyre. Not sure who I really agree with in this current situation, but I've got a driver on a hot lap. Got a few drivers actually on a hot lap at the moment, but we'll look on board with Karumi in for EXT. A new team, not heard of this team before, but they get the Aston Martin and really taking it nicely there through the loop and entry, and now heading down the Wellington straight. No DRS enabled, so clearly the track conditions are wet enough that DRS hasn't been enabled for these drivers, which is interesting to see, but nonetheless, we'll keep on board with Karumi here as we head through this second sector and sector 3, but this is going to be a real interesting corner. How do they take, wow, quite the lift off through Cops Corner, and now as we head to Maggots, Beckett's and Chapel, it's going to be even more interesting to see what these drivers do, and yet nicely held there. Don't run too wide on the exit, and really taking that very nicely in the main gear. Valid though, you know, you never know. These drivers can extend the limits a little bit more often than not. I believe we're about to get our first lap time on the board, courtesy of Bell, who does take a 1 minute 35.382 to get the fastest time of the session so far. When can Karumi go? Karumi goes quite a bit slower. He can only manage a 1:36.1, but that was invalidated as well, so that's not going to count for anything. Keeping an eye on to see who's going where. As we stash. Wow, good lap time there. A 1:35.1. That's a very good lap time for them. Luca Rapassa on a hot lap as well, coming around the final bend. Where can he go? He goes second alongside his teammate, slightly faster than Bell. So looking very interesting. These opening lap times of the session, very interesting to see as Nico only manages 5th there, slowest of everyone so far. As Gavrich for GT10 goes into 5th, Flexus into 4th for IRT, and IRT were a really good team last season. Can they keep that momentum going? NL Slash there in 5th place behind IRT Flexus, but Lucas is coming around in Sector 2 at the moment. Where will he be able to go? Marley there up into 8th as Finlay goes into 4th for EVE, but ETA still on top. Flopman displaces there with a brilliant lap time, 2/10 faster. Where can Lucas go? Lucas goes 3rd. What a lap time for OVR. One down towards the bottom, but the other one quite up towards the top of the time sheet. As Karumi will come to, well, not quite sure what Karumi's doing actually, if I'm perfectly honest, but YCN comes towards the line for EXT as Mario has begun his lap. Gatkowski hasn't set a lap time yet as YCN goes 11th. Noticing someone went really up towards the top. I believe that was that Eric. Yeah, that was Eric Kogan there, who went up to 2nd place. So very nicely done for him. Mario going through Sector 1 at the moment as well. So doing a very good job at present. All of these drivers doing their absolute best to deliver all of the performance they possibly can. Doing a decent job at the moment. I'm going to begin working. A little bit better. It's very difficult to read at the minute. Very interesting start to this qualifying session. Mario going through sector number 2 now. So we'll see where he can put himself in this session. So he'll come towards the end of his lap, head down into the corner now. Where he finds himself 8th place ahead of his teammate. Not a bad start for him. Where can Gatkowski go though? He's going through sector number 2 at the moment. Gatkowski known for being a real fast talent. He's there with his teammates in 2nd at the moment. So it's going to be really interesting to see where he can go in this session. That will be interesting to see. As Muscat goes to the top of the time even more. That is going to be Gatkowski does come, and Luca Rapace goes even faster. Gatkowski going around the final couple of ends now and up towards the line. Where can Gatkowski go in the session? He can, well, he's got valid lap time, so Gatkowski all out the end is annoying for him, known for really not ever making mistakes in the past. Have they began to be in for Gatkowski? Really interesting to see. Another good lap time from Flopman. This crit is really shaping up to be quite something. I am really a little bit on the zoned outside at the minute because I'm trying to get this telemetry up to date. It is horrible to give you accurate information. Oh, really running loose there on the rear. They come out of Blufford and really good place. That is not a good place to make that sort of error. Well, running the right there, drops the corner as well. Won't do you any good either. We'll begin to run down this lap and not really think about it too much. Because, well, dwell on these bad lap times all too much. Just to not really hurt your end performance. But qualifying really heating up now. We've got 8 minutes to go in this qualifying session. It's getting real interesting into this qualifying session as well. You need to take moments to breathe across this live stream because it's going to be really difficult. Otherwise. But a little bit of a break in the session. Belbo goes up to third. There's not too many drivers on the circuit at the moment. Just see if anyone's going particularly fast. Not really at the moment. Improving down in 50 at the moment as we go through Cox Corner. A good sign for this team. They're going to try out to seem to maybe not be quite as strong as they were in the past. But just one lap. So let's have a look and see where they go. But nonetheless, at the moment, not doing too bad as we head through the final couple of corners on the way down to the Hamilton straight where let's go, and it's third. Wow, what a lap time from Lexus. Managed to finally get all of my players up to their now. So this is going to be a bit of a breeze there for the rest of this. Will actually give me useful information. Let's get all of this stuff up and let's get the rest of this qualifying session underway now. We have just 6 minutes left on the clock. Not long left on the clock. It is going to be interesting to see who can take that all-important pole position here in qualifying. Qualifying session. It's going to be a real interesting one. We're getting towards the end of it now as well, and that is exactly what we want to see. Let's have a little look. What we got coming up again? Hogan, sorry about the top of the time sheet at the moment. Lovely stuff for him. Sector 1. This is a lap time definitely to try and keep an eye on Bell. Currently in 4th place, but a fastest Sector 1 looking absolutely mighty. What is this second sector going to be? Is it a fastest Sector 2 for Bell? Well, they are not gaining any time anymore. They're 6 tenths down on their best lap times. That is not what you want to see at the later stages of this qualifying session. Aaron Kogan obviously at the top of the timesheets at the moment, but there is plenty of time for things to change as Ethan Lay is not on a lap time. Not many people on a lap time at the moment, but that is because they're all going to be gearing towards this final lap, which Gatkowski is soon to be beginning, but Lucas is coming towards the end of his current flying lap, as is Quartz there, who is in 12th place at the moment. So both of those set to improve, but Karumi up to the line now. Where will Karumi go? Karumi went 5th. Now is the turn for Quartz, who goes 2nd. Lucas in 7th as well. The track is really ramping up, it seems, at the latter stages of this qualifying. So it could be a case of last across the line gets the best of these track conditions, because Gatkowski beginning his, what we'd believe is his final hot lap. And, well, at the moment, Gatkowski is all the way down in 17th. But look at Ryan. A good Sector 1, a fastest Sector 2. What can Ryan deliver in this qualifying session as we round the final couple of corners through Vale, now into Club and towards the Hamilton Straight? Ryan goes a rear end slide, but it is enough to go to the top of the timesheets at the moment. A 1:33.310 and a fastest Sector 2 and 3 to suit. What a lap time from Rayan, but can the rest of this field respond? Because they are looking absolutely mighty. And Gatkowski looks like he may be the first driver to get the final flying laps underway, unless Karumi and Cakewat continue on and set another flying lap. But Gatkowski allegedly improving by a second there as he goes through sector number 2. This is a mighty lap from Gatkowski that could definitely take him up a lot of places, but at the moment it's not going to be enough to go up to that P1 spot that maybe he had become accustomed to in the past, especially when it came to race pace. But it's not going to be probably P1 for Gatkowski, but it is 3rd place for Gatkowski. What a lap time for him, as now this is really getting a little bit fiery, and really we're seeing the claws come out. And wow, where was that lap time from Gatkowski when you wanted it a few minutes ago? Wow, really great to see from him. Moustache in 15th. Are they improving? Just began their flying hot lap actually only just now. Lucas, I believe, is also beginning his final flying lap time now. A little bit difficult on the first little part of this lap. I'm noticing a few drivers struggling a little bit with the stability of the car through there as well. GT10 Garouche rejoins the lobby there, but Rayan has retired from the session, so clearly not thinking an improvement is on the cards, Rayan. So could be interesting to see if there is an improvement on the cards for anyone in this session, but clearly happy with that as Q-Quartz, retires from the session. Quite a few drivers actually beginning to retire from this session. I'm keeping an eye on this timesheet. I've not got many sector times that are really screaming out at the moment. So a lot of drivers getting towards the start of their lap, as a lot of drivers are getting towards the end of it. Moustache not improved in sector 1 or 2, according to my timesheets. Didn't improve overall across the lap. Could be about to start a final flying hot lap now. So really difficult one here. Marley in 18th has invalidated on their lap, so they're not going to get an improvement out of this one, unfortunately for them. So really interesting to see all of these sector times flooding in at the moment, and not much in the way of improvement, but Flopman could be about to absolutely decimate the competition. A second up, purple sector 2, a great sector 1 as well to go with that, as now through Vale and Club. Mario just about to cross the line, just before crosses the line, can't improve, stays 13th, but Flopman can improve, can go P1. It's a 1:32.680. What a lap time for Flopman TTM on a good start for their season, but what can others deliver around them? There are sector times coming in. They're looking a little bit better. L Slash goes fourth. Gatkowski is in Sector 2, but Luca Rapassa in 7th. Had a great Sector 2 as well. He's fastest of anyone in Sector 2, so he could be one to watch, no doubt about that one. Luca Rapassa, as Belbel goes into 2nd place. And wow, Luca Rapassa could be certainly one to watch, but so could be Eric Krogan, who is in 5th place at the moment. But Luca Rapassa goes P1, Flexus in 4th. This is a brilliant end to qualifying. The track has really ramped up. Everything is happening all at the end of this qualifying session, but 3 tenths down in Sector 2, but 1 tenth up in Sector 1. Can Eric Krogan go P1? No, only Musters 3rd, but what can Gatkowski do? Who's currently in 8th, improving by about 4 tenths of a second, now comes up to the line. Where can Gatkowski go in this qualifying session? He can't muster anything better than 6th place, as I believe that was Mustache, who just jumped up to be into the top 3. No, into the top 4, sorry. But that is qualifying. If you blinked, you missed it, because that was a chaotic end to qualifying. But it is Luca Rapassa on P1, followed by Flopman, Eric Krogan, Mustache, Belbel, IRT, Gatkowski, Rayan, Finlay, ML Slash, Nick, Sign, YCN, Leonardo, Q-Quartz, Nico, Karumi, Lucas, Marley, Mario, and then to round out Gavrich there, right at the bottom of the field. But what a real qualifying session that was. That was a real treat of a qualifying session. We have got a bit of a demolition derby set to ensue. We have been told there's a mandatory restart between these sessions, so everyone should retire now. However, I am gonna have to go and grab a drink, because this is just really destroying my voice. It doesn't take a lot to destroy my voice, but it's destroying it very, very nicely. So I will be grabbing a drink. I'll be back in a moment. And once I'm back, we will have an amazing race to get underway. There is an intermission thing. We'll watch the Demolition Derby, actually. Why not? And it's chaos. It's always chaos. But drive-throughs galore, spins, crashes, everything you want. And pretty much the entire field's out. Not even made it to turn 1. Who's going to be the winner of the Demolition Derby, though? That is the important question. And it looks like it will be Mario who wins the Demolition Derby, as they retire now. And that is 20 drivers out by the time they get to turn 3. Beautiful stuff. Demolition Derby has ensued and finished. And, well, we'll be right back after a very short intermission so I can run and grab a drink. Do not go anywhere. We've got a race on the other side of this. It's going to be great. But give me a minute. Well, I did say I'd be right back. I was right back. Hello. Welcome back to Competitive Speed Series. We've just had an amazing qualifying session, and we've got an even better race to come. I mean, what a race we are in for. Let me just give me 2 seconds. Let me save this. But what a qualifying session we had. And, well, and it's going to be an even better race. No doubt about that one. Keeping an eye on the situation when it comes to the lobby at the moment. Well, we have got a lot to go. Got a full race, 26 laps ahead of us in this action-packed evening. And, well, dynamic weather, so anything could happen. It's going to be great to see everything that happens in a moment's time. But as a general thing, it's going to be interesting because we've got such a good grid. Such a good grid. And, well, you cannot really pick, a clear winner too much, if I'm honest. So let's have a look. We'll really be kind of guessing. Once we get onto the track, it's all guessing. And it'll be interesting to see. It's interesting to see that we've also got teams using other teams' IGN. How comes we have 2 of... yeah, cool. They are really out to confuse me. But really, got an amazing race ahead of us in not so distant future. Just keeping an eye on all the chatter in the Discord. But do your chatter into that YouTube chat as well. I do want to hear your thoughts on that qualifying session and what you're looking forward to going into this race. But sound a little bit too loud. Wow. I can turn myself down if you would like. And in terms of showing tyres, we'll do that for the race, no worries. But for qualifying, it doesn't matter. They were all on inters. That was the faster tyre. But going to be really interesting to see everything that happens over this race. Nice to see 30 of you here. Brilliant to see so many people watching live, seeing what's going on. Let me know in that chat who you think has got this race win. We've got 10 amazing teams, and we've got so much. But someone has been disqualified before we've even got started, as Eric has been DQ'd, apparently. A bit interesting. Not fully sure why. But hey, we have got everyone beginning to ready up now. So in a couple of moments' time, we're getting actually into this action, getting everything underway. And this is exactly what we're going to want to see. We're going to want to see all this racing action. These drivers, they know exactly what they're doing. They know everything that they are capable of. Everyone should be in the same cars. Therefore meaning my telemetry should be up and running from the get-go. I love it when we don't change lobbies. It makes my life so much easier. But this is the track. It is the wonderful Silverstone circuit in Great Britain. 3 sectors, 2 DRS zones, and a speed trap there right at the end of it. And, well, it's 18 turns. So many turns of this track. Historic and meaningful. The Hamilton Straight, the newest named part of this circuit, but the Wellington Hangar Straight provide great overtaking opportunities. Cops hosted so many incidents as well, but Beckett's Chapel, arguably one of the most iconic corners of the Formula 1 calendar. There is no shortage of action at Silverstone, and there will be no shortage of action today. What a track we have got. And then we've got 11 rounds of action after this, going from Italy, Saudi Arabia, Azerbaijan, a mystery round, Netherlands, Belgium, Qatar, Las Vegas, another mystery round, followed by Hungary and Japan. We have got such a good season in store for us. But let's cut to what you want. You want the gameplay, you want the on-track action, and I can bring you it. Here is Silverstone. What a circuit. We have 20 drivers, a full grid, raring to go. So much action gonna happen over the next 26 laps, but we've got such a good race on our hands. Let's keep a real eye on this one because we are got a real time. Nice to see you, Renz, in the chat. Got such a good race ahead of us. But let's see what is going on in terms of that all-important weather, because that is really going to be quite important. Weather says sunny, so that'll be interesting to see. But here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights here in Silverstone, and it is lights out, and away we go, and a drive-through penalty there for jump-starting for IRT Marley there, who is in 17th place. Luca Rapassa does get away well, but so does Flopman. It's side-by-side there as they head towards turn number 3. Starting time going on your screen in a second, but what a good start to this race. Emma Slash, a 3-second tyre penalty for corner cutting. A few drivers on softs. Most of the field, however, on that yellow wall medium compound tyres. Yellow flag in sector 1, that is to be expected, but a good start for Luca Rapassa, who leads the field away on this opening lap. But look behind, it is Moustache and Bell battling it out as they head through Club Corner and beautiful Club. Wow. Been a little while since I've commentated on Silverstone, clearly, but nonetheless, brilliant action from that pairing as Gatkowski runs side by side with Rayan there through Copse Corner. What a place to go, overtaking a motor racing. And well, there's a bit of action there towards the back of the field as well, as we'll head down the the Hanger Straight once more. For the first time in this race, however, and K-Quart was looking pretty nice and handy, but Mario gets himself up into 13th place ahead of TTM Nick. But a good start to the race so far, as that is Karumi battling with Q-Quartz there through the end of this lap, but Luca Rapassa leads by 4.5 tenths from TTM Flopman. Moustache in 3rd, Bell 4th, Flexus 5th, Gatkowski 6th, Ryan in 7th, but Ryan's looking to make that 6th because he is really on the back of Gatkowski at the moment and looking to really put a bit of pressure on there. Is Karumi behind. Battles with Finlay down as we head down the Wellington Straight, and Karumi looks set to have that 8th place, but the action from this top 10 absolutely brilliant so far. This is really looking interesting at the moment as we keep a real eye on everything that's going on. It's very interesting to see everything that's going on between these drivers. They're really going to be reining the neck of these cars in to try and get every bit of performance out of this one, and it's really interesting to see how this race is going to go. Looking at the chance of rain, only 21% chance over the course of this entire race, it seems. So not likely to see any rain at all during the course of this race. But taking us back to that all-important action, that is what everyone's here for. That's what you're here for. That's what I'm here for. We're here for the racing of Moustache. The fastest lap of the race there in 3rd place. Could be really looking to apply some pressure on Finlay down in 11th now, battling with Mario. Karumi making real headway with those soft compound of tyres, but Finlay there up into 10th place as there's a slight moment there for Q-Quartz there, and that'll see them falling out of the DRS range of Gatkowski in front, but Eric Cohen there in 12th place, looking very nicely done and handling this car very well at the moment, trying to make up some places in this opening few laps. Is so important when you're on the slightly grippier tire to make use of it, and Mario wants to make use of it. Surely not into Cop's corner. It wasn't into Cop's corner, but what a ballsy overtake that would have been had he tried it. But surely towards Maggots and Beckett is going to be a great opportunity now as we go through Beckett into Chapel, and well, Mario surely down the straight going to have a real good chance as there's a change for the lead. That's TTM Flopman up into P1 in this race, and that is exactly what TTM Flopman would have loved to see, and getting that overtake done is now a crucial part of this race. Well, Karumi is up into, well, Ryan has now left the session apparently, so Ryan needs to somehow get back into the session. We'll lose a heap of time and places, unfortunately, as a result of that, as Karumi gets up that 6th place off of Ryan. But Ryan obviously disconnecting from the session, unfortunately not able to get into back into the session just yet, but we'll hopefully do that sooner rather than later as Gakowski gets that place as well. And well, gonna really begin to hopefully move through the laps here. We're on lap 4 of 26, obviously Flopman leading the way at the moment. Gonna be really interesting to see how this race progresses and pans out. Because it's so important for these drivers to keep, you know, the pace that they've got at the moment, and, you know, really build on this momentum they're showing. Looking really, really strong at the moment. Really, currently, obviously, in 6th place, soft compound tyres. They're going to start to go off in a couple laps' time, but Luca Rapassa re-overtaking TTM Flopman up into that P1 spot. Ryan back into the session, so that's good for his chances in this race. But Luca Rapassa improving his chances by getting back into that P1 spot as Eric Cohen there gets back up into, gets into 8th, sorry. And now Ryan is going to be hopefully taking the AI there, and well, I believe is just retaking it, but not fully sure as to if. There you go. Ryan back in control of that Williams car, and now we'll look to regain the places and time that have been lost. But it's all part of how you can use your qualifier. But it's going to be interesting to see how this race does begin to pass. TF10 Belbo in 4th place at the moment. Now we need to set the sights on that top 3, but this top 3 very much glued together at the moment, as Flopman is very much once again close to the back of Luca Rapassa. ETA really got a good neck on this race. They had a good neck on last season when they joined the championship. Now they've got a good chance at the start. But Belbel up into 3rd. Belbel has had a bit of an incident there, and it looked like Moustache went round as a result, got damage on the front wing. Now Moustache into the pit lane. 10-second time penalty for speeding. Surely Moustache retires in the pit lane. Unfortunately, that is a nasty, not incident, but just the consequences of that. The time penalty, the damage, really going to damage the chances of any good result in this race if Moustache stays in it. But 20 laps to go, onto the hard compound tyres. Definitely an interesting choice, but Luca Rapassa maybe going to be looking to try and get a bit of revenge on, well, the drivers around. But hurt his teammates' chances in this race. What about Harding theirs? But entire top 5 within a second of one another as Luca Rapassa exits Luffield very, very nicely, keeping close to Lacatisi and Flopman within a 10th of a second there as they go through Cop's corner, and now towards Maggots, Beckett and Chapel again within a 10th of a second, half a 10th of a second. Wow, how close do you dare be to the car in front? Well, Luca Rapassa dares be alongside and ahead as they head down the hanger straight once more. And TTM Flopman has to settle for second on this particular occasion, but that is all going to change as once they go round once more, they will likely swap places yet again. But what a race and what a time for these drivers to all be keeping close and around each other. That is the important thing. No one really too far out of the scope and realms of possibility, as Rayan unfortunately has yet another issue with their connection and does leave the session again. Hopefully they get back in again nice and quickly. As Leonardo into the pit lane onto a change of hard compound tyres. Interesting to see that change, but interesting to really see who's having a good race and who's not. Moustache on an absolute hell at the minute with a 10-second time penalty, 21 seconds away from the next best driver as well. I think that's going to change though, as Moustache actually comes into the pit lane again, but got a lot of moving parts in this race that are really going to make this one an interesting watch. So anyone in the YouTube chat, what do you think of the action so far? How are you finding this race? Because it is really interesting to see how things are going and how things can maybe go a little bit better for some. But Flopman does retake that P1 spot ahead of Luca Rapace, who's going to try and consider trying to battle it as they went down into Vale, but wasn't able to on that particular occasion. But going to be trying absolutely everything. And someone asking for ERS, not a problem at all. Drivers don't typically like it when we show their ERS. What are you doing to me? But no problem. It's really useful to actually see this sort of data and see who is utilising that battery, really, benefiting from these, current conditions a little bit on the tricky side, but interesting to see. But as we stand on lap 8 of 26, Luca Rapace leads ahead of TTM Flopman, Flexus in third, Belbel fourth, Gatkowski in fifth. This is really interesting at the moment, but we've got a long way to go in this race. But looking at the best lap times so far, it's Eric Kogan in 7th place, who's had the fastest lap of this race so far, a 1:28.281. It's quite a bit faster than anyone else on this grid. The next best is Flopman with a 1:28.605. So really interesting to see just the difference in pace between Eric, who's in 7th, but going to be struggling on these turns quite a little bit now. But Luca Rapace held off Flopman on this occasion, but plenty more laps to go. 17 laps to go in this race, and going to be a real hot contest for every single one of these laps up until that checkered flag right at the end of this one. As wow, you see Flopman really close to the back of Luca Rapace as we begin and get towards the end of Sector 1 on lap number 9. Wow, we are most of the way now through lap number 9. We're really seeing a big gap opening up between the top 6 and, well, eighth place there, Mario, who's 3.6 off Eric, and Eric is a further 1.8 adrift of Karumi. So very interesting to see just kind of how it's not necessarily an ideal scenario at the moment, but Flopman trying to make it an ideal scenario for him round the outside. Stowe, that is a brilliant overtake there as we go down into Vale as well. Who's that making an overtake? That's Gatkowski and Belbel. We've seen a slight half spin from Belbel already in this race, and wow, how do they keep that one clean? Belbel brilliantly held there and up into 4th place now. Brilliant overtake there for Williams, and a great start for them in their conquest to really make headway for TF10. One driver out of this race in Rayan, who's in 17th, out of the race entirely. Nico there battling with Nick for 14th. That is for points for the top 15. And you see there's also a ghosted car. So this is a very good 4-car scrap here. Finlay there. As you see the helicopter cam, you see Nico there battling in 15th. That's ML Slash in front, then Finlay and Nick. But this battle here, very close between all of these drivers, to be honest. But the action towards the front is also beginning to ramp up a little bit more too, as I'm noticing Gatkowski very close to the rear of Bell. Could this be a change for position between these two drivers once more? But it doesn't look it, but Luca Rapassa back up into that P1 spot. These two drivers, they are just swapping like Chuckle Brothers. They are having a real fun time of it at the moment as Q-Quartz, sorry, for GT10 does overtake Mario. So the soft tyres clearly going off a little bit, but Karumi and Eric Cohen really looking quite handy on the soft tyres at the moment. So interesting to see between the pair of them, but as things stand at the moment, not too shabby at all. We're on lap number 11 out of this 26 lap race. We're getting towards that halfway distance mark, and well, really beginning to give some good signs of a brilliant race. No rain obviously expected, but you know, it's good to see how these tyres are doing. But for these drivers, in terms of when the tyres are a bit better, if you're on a set of soft tyres at the minute, a new set of softs is about 1.5 seconds a lap quicker. A new set of mediums, 1 second a lap quicker. So, really interesting to see this data that we can really get out of these cars to see when the tyres are better, when they're worse. So, going to be interesting to see when those on the soft compound tyres bite that bullet and come into that pit lane, because it will be very useful information to know, and I'm sure all of the engineers that manage these drivers keeping a firm eye on that too, just to make sure they make that right call on the right lap. But Eric Cohen, funny enough, as I mentioned it, he's got the faster lap time of this race so far. He comes into the pit lane, he's in P7 at the moment, but now going to be moving down quite a few positions here. Will come out in about should be about 15th place as things stand. No one's looking likely to overtake Eric beyond this point here at the moment. Leonardo is comfortably behind. So, going to be interesting to see. I was just saying about the difference in the tyre compounds. New set of mediums was looking about 1.5 seconds quicker. Well, now unleash that pace onto the track will Eric Cohen, and that could really bring the Ferrari into this fight right at the forefront of this race. Just due to how things are looking for him at the moment, but Luca Rapassa, Flopman, gonna continue their battle once more as we head down the Hanger Straight for the 12th time under these racing conditions. And Flopman will pull out to the left. What will Flexus do? Will he try and make a move? No, he won't. But Flopman, once again, comfortably around the outside and ahead of Luca Rapassa. Will another soft tyre come in? It's Karumi into the pit lane. But where will Karumi come up versus the Ferrari of Eric Kogan? Because that is going to be a real important indicator as to how the pace and performance of these new tyres are doing. If Karumi falls behind that Ferrari, that is a real sign of strong pace, but a fast Sector 2 is a good sign. Well, Eric goes about 5/10 faster in the second sector versus Karumi. Now, will be interesting to see as, well, you'll see here as coming past there is Eric Kogan, who is not ahead, but isn't far behind. So interesting to see the Ferrari looking very interesting. Yeah, very, very interesting. But this race is going to begin to ramp up a little bit more, I think, as we're getting into a very important phase in this race for these guys on the medium compound tyres. Now it is tyre management and unleashing a bit of pace. If your name's Gatkowski, a fastest personal best, sector 1 is definitely good for those aging medium compound tyres. And you'll see that probably begin to happen a little bit more as Bell and Flexus there battle over P4 and P5. Flexus might just believe he was shown the door a little bit there in that particular battle, but nonetheless, it's all a little bit bargy as Karumi has a fastest sector 2. He's only just come out the pit lane, so those tyres are very nicely up to temperature and delivering a lot of pace and performance very nice and early on in this race. And you see there, all the way pushed to the grass is Luca Rapassa in his quest to get ahead of Flopman. He does get himself ahead of Flopman, but both of them will have lost a little bit of time in that. Coming off that racing line, picking up a few marbles onto the tyres, losing a little bit of that grip as well. Not ideal for Luca Rapassa or Flopman, as Gatkowski will close a little bit on both of them. Had a faster sector 1 time than the pair of them. Well, now the sector 1 times are beginning to come in for those who've changed tyres, and they're not looking great. But Ryan improving in sector 1, although I believe under AI control. And NL Slash, a brilliant sector 1 for them on the soft compound tyres, so maybe you would expect that, but taking those tyres to the end of the race as Flaxus comes into the pit lane, and Luca Rapassa leads the race on lap number 15. 11 laps in this race to go, but plenty of time for him to change as Eric Kogan gets a good sector 2, but that's beaten by Rayan and ML Slash, who both have brilliant sector 2 times themselves, as those three who came into the pit lane are really, falling a little bit down the order. But where will they come out in relation to Karumi and Kogan? And they come up behind. They were in the battle for the race lead. They're not anymore. Rayan definitely back in the lobby because they just set a purple lap. That is a great lap time as well. 1:27.793. That is convincingly faster than anyone else by a good few tenths of a second. So a great lap time from them. But Flopman once again continuing the battle here for the top 2. Who's going to get that P1 spot come the end of this race? It's anyone's guess at the moment, but Flopman looking brilliant at the moment and gets himself into that P1 spot, and lovely done at the moment, but pulls into the pit lane right at the end of the lap as well. Slowed down nice and in time, but does lose a little bit of time for himself and Gatkowski behind, who's also come into that pit lane. So crucial in this race. But where, and this is very, very important, where is Eric Cohen in all of this, who's just got himself ahead of Karumi and now could be getting himself into the net race lead at the moment, because the lap time and pace is looking electric from this pair. Cohen and Karumi across the line. A purple sector 3 for Cohen as well. Comes out of the pit lane ahead of Flopman, ahead of Gatkowski by a couple of seconds as well. Where is this pace? Was not expecting that, but those two on a set of medium compound tyres, are they going to fall susceptible? But look at Flopman. He's already on the back of Flexus here. This is the man that was leading the race lead. He lost it to Flexus when he came out of the pit lane, but he's retaken it nicely. Those tyres, what tyres? They're not cold. They must be steaming hot now that he's made that overtake. He has soared around Flexus like he wasn't even there. Wow, Luca Rapace and Bell P1 and P2 at the moment, but they are definitely going to be coming in at the end of this lap because you can tell in their sector times. Green sector 1 for the pair of them. They are not keeping those tyres on any longer. It is every bit of pace that's left unleashed onto the track, both into the pit lane. Nicely done. But Flopman in net P3 at the moment as Cohen and Karumi lead. But the longer these three battle, the more and more time that those in front have got to, you know, pull away and really get that advantage from the medium tyres early on and prevent those softs from getting too much pace on the track. But Gatkowski got himself nicely up there ahead of Flopman and Flexus, so is now in that net P3 as those two of Luca Rapace and Bell into the pit lane and will lose their fair few places as YCN comes out of, does set the fastest lap of the race in 12th place as well, so great lap time from them. But lap 17 of 26, you see that in the distance, that's the two battling for the race lead at the moment, but 2.4 seconds behind, and that is where you find Gatkowski, Flexus, Luca Rapace, Flopman and Bell all in that battle. You notice Rayan has really got themselves back into this mix, but may have to pit again in this race, but have got themselves into that top 8, so good points on the cards there. But a slight incident there between Gatkowski and Flopman, you'll notice, did maybe lose a little bit of time for them, as Flopman really on the back of Luca Rapace here as you go through Magus Beckett and Chapel and onto the hanger straight once more. Eric Cohen and Karumi working together at the moment at least to try and keep this advantage that they've got, as Gatkowski cannot really make huge inroads on this lap, only gained by that 0.2 of a second. And well, as we get towards lap 18 of 26 now, it's going to be really interesting. That gap down to 2.1 seconds, but not exactly making the major inroads that may have been expected, as that gap does increase a little bit more here as Luca Rapace really looking to try and get the overtake here, as you see darting to try and get the move on Flexus, but then nearly losing the place to Flopman as we head down the Wellington straight, and no move to be done for Luca Rapace, but one for Flexus does see the IRT into the top 3 at the moment, but plenty of time for things to change in this one, and that is an absolute certainty, no doubt about that one. Everything is likely to change. IRT isn't even in this car, it's the ILD. What is going on? These team names are confusing. But interesting to see these two as Flexus there battles and loses a couple of places, nearly loses the place to Flopman. Will he lose the place to Flopman? That is the real question. He does unfortunately lose that place, but he can gain those places just as easily, no doubt about that one. The gap now down to 2 seconds here, but are these soft tyres gonna hold on, or will the pace deficit not necessarily work in their favour? Because if it's battled too much, they're going to start losing time and performance. But as things stand, lap 19 of 26, we are really getting towards the end of this race as Cohen and Karumi continue to go side by side and swap places and work really tough to try and keep this race alive for them. But Flexus there battling with Bell as they exit out of Luffield and through Woodcote and now down the straight, and Flexus loses and concedes that place versus Bell, knowing it wasn't worth holding. As you notice, they all take a little bit of a slightly different line there just to get a little bit out of the dirty air. They go through Cox Corner, but that's also a little bit of personal preference as Luca Rapace very close onto the back of Gatkowski, and now they'll head down the straight, and surely there's a change for the lead and a change for P3 as Luca Rapace himself up to 3rd place. What can Flopman do? Flopman tries to to get himself ahead of Gatkowski. Runs a bit wide on the exit. Can he dart down the inside? No, he can't. But brilliantly done by them. Luca Rapace, though, really reined the neck in on this particular lap. An amazing lap time. Personal best lap time for Luca Rapace as well. Meaning that now, just 2 tenths away from that all-important DRS. That is what they're going to be looking for. And, well, now within that DRS as well. Are these top 2 managing their battery? Well, they're not, but they should have been hoping that they were, because now Luca Rapace has come a knock-in, and unfortunately, Luca Rapace has burnt a lot of his battery in his pursuit. But once he's in that DRS range, he will be there for good. There is no doubt about that one, as he pulls away from Gatkowski quite well as well. 7.5 tenths the gap between those two at the moment as now. This race has really opened up. It is a 7-car race at the moment. And imagine last to first on debut. But let me know in the chat, who do you think has got this race win on the cards? We have 7 drivers in the pursuit of this Flopman, by the way, a fastest Sector 2 on this particular lap. That is a good sign for him and his pursuit of winning this one. But Eric and Karumi, they have been caught by those soft tyre runners. Can they hold it from Luca Rapace and Gatkowski and all of those soft tyres, or will they not be able to, as Flopman and all of those soft tyre runners actually another personal best lap time for them? And that is exactly what they love to see. But yes, let me know, who do you think wins this race? That is exactly what I want to know. It is so interesting to see what you guys think, how you think this race is going, but all importantly, who is gonna win it? That is the all-important question. But at the moment, Luca Rapace really looking on a good trajectory for this one. But Karumi, personal best Sector 1 actually beats the drivers on the soft compound tyres. Interesting. Very interesting to see, as Leonardo gets himself a 3-second time penalty for having multiple warnings in terms of those all-important penalties. Oh my, whoa! Luca Rapace nearly getting collected by Karumi, who had a massive moment there through that sequence of corners, but Karumi somehow manages to keep the places. I have got no clue how that's happened. Flopman has, however, lost a place versus Bell. Tries to keep the place and also tries to make an overtake there on Gatkowski. Can he go around the outside of Gatkowski as we begin lap number 22? And he does keep it around the outside of Gatkowski, and up into 4th place goes Flopman. Wow. What a real good sequence of events there, as Luca Rapace up into 2nd place. 7.5 tenths the gap between him and that P1 spot, as Karumi loses 2 places. A real sign that the pace and performance in these medium tyres has begun to fall off a little bit, but it could come towards them a little bit more towards the end. Karumi down to 6th though. Started this lap in 2nd, so not been a good lap. But is that just a case of one driver having an absolute stinker, or will this be a sign of things to come for Eric Kogan? Wow, that man in the Ferrari, a penny for them thoughts of that CPI driver in the Scarlet Red Ferrari, one of the most pressured environments in the real world of Formula 1. And when you're in a competition like this, every seat is a pressured environment. But Eric Cohen really under pressure from Luca Rapace, who does convincingly get the place, but Eric Cohen doesn't look to be losing too much time immediately. But it'll be interesting to see how that pans out as we get towards the end of this race. We're really going towards that checkered flag as we begin lap number 23. We have 4 laps to go in this race. And, well, that is a real important thing going in this race, as Rayan gets a 3-second time penalty, currently in 12th place, so not really going to affect the amount of points that TF10 get too much. Someone who can though is Bell, currently in 5th place, but Eric in second place. 5/10 the gap between himself and Luca Rapassa, a sign that maybe this strategy could be definitely one in the way, in a good way to go. But at the moment, Flexus doing a good job to keep on the end of this DRS trend. We've still got 7 cars in the hunt for this race. Wins to do. Let me know who you think has got this one in the bag. So great to see so many people in the chat here on YouTube. It's brilliant to see. I'm absolutely buzzing to see so many people here for the start of this new season, as Eric is doing a brilliant job at the moment in second place on those medium tyres that are really aging to keep these places and show why there's a chance of this CPI getting the win today. They're definitely taking the biggest haul of points out of this one. But at the moment, that race win would just be even sweeter and the cherry on the top of what has been a great day so far for CPI to start their season. But lap 24, 3 to go, and well, it is getting a real heated now as Flexus gets the 3-second time penalty. That is going to really hurt the chances of getting anything good in this race for themselves there at IDL. So not great for them, but plenty of opportunities in future rounds as Eric gets himself back up into P1, and that is a decisive moment in this race, the moment where we see the mediums re-overtake the softs. Could be interesting to see how the performance of these tyres are holding up. And well, in terms of that, let's have a little look. Really interesting to see those mediums still showing up a slightly more worn than the softs actually. So not entirely sure how this is happening, but it's interesting. Oh my god, it's a demolition derby almost there. 3 wide, someone onto the grass, but Flopman has somehow snuck his way into the lead. What is going on here? It's carnage and chaos. Everyone's going side by side. It's, Eric Cohen there. Brilliant to try and keep the position, but he's going to lose the place surely. And oh my god, what is happening here as Bell tries to make the overtake into turn number 1 Abbey, but not able to do it. And wow, Eric Cohen was definitely in the chance here of winning this race, but now has to think about defending 3rd place more than attacking in front, because the an uncharacteristic mistake maybe for a man who has had such a great start to his race and his season just cannot seem to hold it together, and not able to keep that P3 spot at the moment. Gatkowski and Eric Cohen 4th and 5th, still looking great at the moment for them, but Luca Rapassa leading the way. Flopman in 2nd, Bell in 3rd place at the moment. Eric in that 4th place as the yellow flag in sector number 3. Believe that is Leonardo, who's made a mistake on the exit of Stowe. But as we move through lap number 25, we're going on to the final lap now in a couple of moments time, and a mistake there for Eric, maybe showing the tyres are falling off just a little bit. Luca Rapassa down that place versus Flopman. Got a real action-packed final lap on the way in a couple of moments time as, wow, look at Bell off the racing track there. And you see Flopman running deep, a lock-up there. This is it. The final lap of the race gets underway, and Flopman leads away this final lap. But will it be that way come the checkered flag? 7 drivers technically all in for a hunt on this race win. Maybe not going to hold it in post the checkered flag with, in the case of Flexus, but anything is possible. Eric Cohen up into 3rd as he battles with Bell once more. Bell holding the inside though, holds it astern and keeps the place for now. But the Ferraris, the CPIs, they're gonna duel. Are they gonna go side by side? Could it be a derby for them? But it's not on this occasion, as there Luca Rapassa is now trying to battle firmly with Flopman as Bell tried to get the overtake into 2nd place, but a mistake for Flopman on the exit, the rear end getting loosey-goosey there for him. And now we'll get towards the end of the final lap of action here in Silverstone. It's been an enthralling race. It's been so much battle. Belbel up into second, Gatkowski into fourth. Oh, there's contact between not Gatkowski, Belbel and Luca Rapassa. Both continue on. They're battling side by side. They're ghosted in each other's car. Who's that that's got off the track as well? Is that Eric Gogan? It is, and it's Flopman who's come out the better of this. A second ahead of Karumi in second place, but damage to Gatkowski, I believe, there as well. Luca Rapassa into third. Flopman, though, will be your race winner. Drama on the final lap of this race. What on earth has just ensued on the racetrack? That is going to the stewards, no doubt. Luca Rapassa second. Karumi in third. Gatkowski fourth. Eric Cohen in fifth. Sixth for Belbel. Flexer seventh. G10 Quartz in 8th, YCN in 9th, Finlay 10th, ML Slash in 11th, Mario in 12th, Rayan 13th, Gavrich in 14th and 15th for Lucas. But what on earth has just happened on the final lap of the race? Everything, the chaos has just ensued upon this racetrack. What a final lap of action we've just had. Wow. What on earth? Whew. I mean, we're gonna need some interviews. Wow, what a race we've had. I'm just going to get the top three in for an interview as they step to the podium for the celebrations. Wow, what a race we've had there. Flopman, your race winner. 1.2 seconds ahead of Luca Rapassa, but that is due to the chaos that ensued there as they all went through Maggots, Beckett, and Chappell. But Luca Rapassa in second, Karumi in third, rounding out your podium. Gatkowski fourth, Eric Cohen in fifth, Belbel sixth, Flexus in seventh, Quartz in eighth, YCN ninth, Finlay 10th, ML Slash in 11th, Mario 12th, Rayan 13th, Gavrich in 14th, and your 15th place driver was OVR Lucas, who does round out the points positions for that one. But what a race that was. I mean, in terms of drama on the final lap, you don't get anything more than that. Wow. Wow. Whew. Let's hopefully get some of the top three in for an interview. But if we're able to, that would be brilliant. Would be great to get a real perspective. From these drivers. But let's see what these drivers have to say. What a race we had there. Great to see 50 of you in the chat right at the end. And wow, yeah. What a real good race we've just had. So much chaos just ensued. But let's see if anyone joins this. But whilst you wait, yeah, just you wanted carnage, you wanted chaos. We got both. Right at the end as well. I mean, we went the entire race. Really not a single yellow flag. Nothing at all in the way of carnage or chaos. Bam. It just changed like an instant. Final lap of the race. When everything mattered most. I mean, you don't get anything more carnage or chaos inducing than that. Spot on. Chef's kiss. Love that. We are going to hopefully get Flopman into we have indeed got Flopman in the voice chat at the moment, and we're also hopefully going to be getting Luca Rapace. But we have got our race winner, Flopman. And it's a PlayStation issue. Oh, I love it when this happens. People really need to learn that connecting through Discord on PlayStation does not work. Cannot move you into a different channel. Well, that happened. But I don't even know where to really start unpacking that race. That was just pure and utter carnage and chaos. Just such a good, real good race. Let's go and chat to the race winner, though. No, not race winner. Our second place finisher, Luca Rapace. Hello, Luca. Alright, let me just double check you're coming through on the stream. And the answer to that is no, so give me 2 seconds. Right, lovely. That should be all good now. Luca, hello. And for some reason, still no. 2 seconds. It's been a while. It's been a while. Found it. Cool. Awesome. Right, we should be able to hear you now. Luca, obviously second place. A little way off P1, but a chaotic final lap. Talk me through it.
Well, the entire race was clean, and then Flopman decides to play some dirty DRS games. You can't just brake on the straight. Then, you know, I don't want to be in front, but you can't just initially start fucking braking on the straight. And then after Maggots and Beckett's, towards Scorps, he just goes none. Then before Maggots and Beckett's, for me it looks like he's lifting because I have to lift myself. I have to shift down even. Well, yeah, and then me and the Williams collide. Yeah, it's just not fair. It's just, in my opinion, it's dirty. Because the entire race was clean, and it's a shame that turned this way. I would have overtaken him otherwise, but he couldn't handle it, so he just had to do it that way.
Wow, interesting to hear your perspective. We've got Flopman in the waiting room. I suppose I've turned it into the interview room for just the sake of ease. Flopman, accusations maybe being thrown about a bit of dirty tactics when it comes to the DRS. Any comment from you?
Yeah, I don't really think it was dirty, just smart. I just put none and tried to create a battle behind to make a gap, but obviously they crashed into each other, so it's gave me the win. Sorry for my English, but I don't really think it's dirty. I would have liked to win in another way, but sadly it's like that how we won on F1 24.
Yeah, exactly.
He don't want to overtake me, it's not my problem.
Well, exactly.
Okay.
Very, very difficult. But you know, as both, you know, drivers, I'll start with you, Luca. In terms of, you know, this first race, do you think this is indicative of where you think you'll be the entire season, or do you think maybe this was just a very strong track for you?
No, we'll be fighting for the win every race. It's just, well, if we can keep it clean, unlike the last lap here, it will be way more fun than this, but this is just fucking boring. Yeah, we'll be at the front every race.
Well, good to hear. Apologies for any bad language you heard there. And Flopman, from you, do you think that the front is where you're going to be every race, or was this a strong track for you?
I don't really know, but I believe we can fight for the win every week if we practice. So yeah, same opinion as Luca.
great to hear from you both. Obviously, Flopman, congratulations on the race win. Even if it is a bit controversial, we'll see whether that goes to the stewards. Looking likely, but congrats nonetheless. And well, congratulations as well to you, Luca, for your second place. And
Yeah, thank you.
To hearing both of you next time out. We have also got our third place driver. No, we haven't. That's our fourth place driver. Hello.
Hello.
What are you doing in here? Eric Cohen. I mean, that final lap, sorry. What do you see of it?
I don't take any risk because in front of me was my teammate, Katkowski, so we take it easy in the last lap. P5 is more than enough from P20,
Yeah.
so more than enough. The pace was there, so leading until what was 23rd lap or so. P5 more than enough. The pace is there.
Absolutely, the pace is there. Do you think you'll be towards the forefront every race, or is
Yeah,
it up in
that's
the
my target.
Well, it's great to have that sort of target. Eric Cohen, a slightly uninvited P5 guest who decided to throw himself into the interview, but great to hear from you nonetheless, and good points for CPI as well. So, well, I will let all three of you go and celebrate your points, and in one case, or two cases, sorry, the podium. So have a good night and enjoy.
Have a good night.
Cheers. Well, that concludes our interviews for this evening. Really interesting to hear the perspectives from drivers up and down, all the way up from P1 to P5, how they saw that final lap incident, and, well, some may be holding a little bit more accountability than others, but definitely heading off to the steward's room for that one. No doubt about that one, but let's have a look at where we stand beyond today, because we have an amazing second race at Imola, followed by Saudi Arabia, Azerbaijan, a mystery round, the Netherlands, Belgium, Qatar, Las Vegas, a further mystery round, Hungary and Japan to round off our season. So next up, this time, in a week's time, will be Imola for Italy. Going to be really interesting to see how things go when we head there, because it's just such a phenomenal track. Maybe not the best for overtaking, so you're going to have to be very ballsy on the overtake, use a lot of battery, use a lot of DRS to your advantage to try and make that move stick, but if you're able to, it can reap lots of rewards. But that is just about all we have time for tonight. It has been absolutely phenomenal to have been part of this broadcast for yet another season. We are really racking up the numbers here. It's so great to see so many teams competing, so many drivers getting involved as well. But from me and the entire Competitive Speed Series team, thank you very much for watching, and until next time, bye bye.